Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to learn skateboarding tricks faster. Okay, so I'm just going to be sharing like a few tips and hopefully they'll help you out. Ultimately, it's going to take practice no matter what anyone tells you. There's no super easy way to learn tricks, but there are a few things that hopefully will make it faster for you. So the first tip I have is that you need to make sure you're practicing as efficiently as possible. Okay, so what I mean by this is that have you ever been trying to trick for a while and you're getting kind of annoyed at it or whatever, kind of frustrated, and then maybe you start to go in sort of this automatic mode where you're just kind of doing it mindlessly and you're not really focusing. You get distracted. Maybe you're thinking about other stuff. You're not even really thinking about the trick. Okay, that's what you want to avoid. You want to make sure that you're always focusing on what you're trying to do, and you have an intention every time you try the trick. Okay, you need to make sure that you're actually trying to land it. And you might think, well, of course I'm trying to land it, but what I mean by this is that you need to be fully committed and thinking about the outcome. Actually, you need to be really pushing yourself to actually land it. Okay, you can't just be mindlessly doing it and just kind of going through the motions but not really fully committing and thinking about each and every part of the trick. Okay, but that's just not gonna it's not gonna give you the most efficient practice. Okay, if you want to optimize your practice, the time you practice, you need to make sure it's has the best effect as possible. So that's my first step. You need to make sure that you don't go onto an autopilot mode and just start doing it mindlessly. You need each and every time you need to focus on each part of the trick and what you're doing wrong and how to correct that. Okay, now if you notice yourself start to slip into this, like you just start thinking about other stuff and you're kind of mindlessly doing it, you need to catch yourself and reassess and refocus on the trick. Okay, so that's important. The second tip I have is that don't try a trick if there's very, very little chance of you landing it. And that might sound weird, but pretty much every new trick you try, there's a small chance of you landing it. But what I mean is that some tricks are gonna be just much more unlikely than others. For example, if you just learned how to ollie, for example, and your ollie's not good yet or whatever, and then you just start trying to suddenly move on to a kickflip, the chance of you just landing a kickflip is very slim. I mean, of course, eventually you'll land it if you practice enough, but it's just going to take so much longer than if you would learn some other tricks first to get more comfortable. Okay, so yeah, that pretty much applies to anything. For example, if you just learned pop shove-its and you don't suddenly try a 360 pop shove-it if you can only land a pop shove-it 1 out of 5 times or something, but the chance is just so small. So you need to make sure that you're spending your time practicing on tricks that you actually have a reasonable chance of learning within a somewhat short amount of time, within a week or two. If it's something that's just hopeless and you're just practicing it for months and months or something, you maybe need to take a step back and learn some other tricks first, because it's just not worth spending tons and tons of time on one trick that's unlikely for you to land when you could be learning a bunch of tricks leading up to that trick and then have a better chance of landing the trick you were trying originally. So this isn't to say that you shouldn't have fun just trying tricks occasionally, but by all means, that's what skateboarding's about. You should have fun and don't worry about this all the time. Sometimes it's fun to just try something, even if it's almost impossible for you to land it. But that's part of skateboarding. So don't use this all the time. But it's definitely something that you want to not be doing on your everyday practice. You don't want to be spending hours and hours every day practicing a trick that's just extremely unlikely for you to land. So just make sure you learn the tricks leading up to a trick, and yeah, that'll help you out a lot. So for one quick example, if you were trying to learn a tray flip and you don't want to just try the tray flip, of course, you'd have to learn the things leading up to it. So maybe you'd have to have pop shove-its and kick flips down for sure, and then maybe a 360 pop shove it as well, and then you could try the tray flip. But if you just learn to pop shove it and you can't even really kick flip, there's no point in trying to tray flip, because it's like the chance of you landing it's very small. So anyway, that's definitely something you need to remember. And then tip number 3, I'd say, is take a break. And as this might sound like counterintuitive, like the more you practice, the faster you'll learn a trick, right? But this isn't exactly always the case, because it comes to a point where if you're practicing for say multiple days in a row, like every day, and maybe you're not making much progress, you probably need to take a break for a day or two, okay? What this does is kind of lets the practice you've been doing sort of set in, and your body can sort of learn, and then when you come back it might be a little easier. Not to mention, if you're tired from like skating every day, say you're like sore or whatever, you've been skating a ton, then taking a break is just good physically as well. But yeah, I've definitely noticed this. If I've skated for like multiple days in a row, or for a week or two or whatever, like every day, and then if I was having trouble with something or whatever, and I take a break for a day, and then I come back, it sometimes feels actually a little easier, which sounds kind of weird, but trust me, it can help. So if you're struggling with a trick, definitely give this a try, and it might just allow you to get that little edge to land the trick. So that's definitely important. And then as far as the last tip I have, I would say you need to make sure you are practicing different things, trying different things, okay? So when you're practicing a trick, don't just like if you're doing it one way and it's not working, if you've been trying it a lot, don't just keep doing the same thing and thinking that it's magically just gonna work out. Like you need to be constantly readjusting what you're doing. You need to recalculate sort of what's working and what's not. So like if something, you're doing a certain like motion, thinking a certain way when you're trying to land the trick, and it's not working after a while, just try something completely different. Like you need to be thinking about doing the trick a different way if it's not working after a while, okay? Because maybe you're just not fully capable, like physically, of landing the trick, and that's in that case it's not going to help to try it a different way. If you're doing it like completely correctly and it's just not working, maybe you just don't have the physical capability yet. For example, like if you can't land a kickflip too well even, and then you're trying like a double kickflip, like say you can hardly rotate a normal kickflip, then you're trying a double kickflip, even if you're doing everything properly and thinking about it the right way, you're not going to land a double kickflip, but you can't even rotate a single kickflip. So I mean, that's pretty obvious. But if you're doing everything correctly and it seems like you just can't, like literally can't, and you've been practicing for a while, you probably just need to work on the steps behind that to get more comfortable or build more strength. But if you know you are capable of doing it, it's not working, you need to always be readjusting like what you're thinking about when you're doing the trick, and trying different foot positioning and different movements and stuff like that, okay? So that's essential to get the most out of your practice and learn tricks faster. One last little bonus tip I just thought of is that it can be really good to set like certain goals and stuff to help motivate you to practice and learn tricks faster. For example, if you were trying to learn a kickflip and like you were struggling with it, you could set a goal like, in 2 weeks I'm going to land the kickflip. Now, this isn't going to guarantee that you're going to land it, of course, but it'll give you something to work towards and maybe help you learn it a little faster. And also, if you have some friends or someone that can hold you accountable, like you can tell them, or you could have a little competition or whatever, just whatever, pretty much whatever can make you more motivated to learn the trick will help. So setting goals or having a little challenge with friends or whatever can definitely help you learn the trick faster. So that's about it. I hope these tips helped you guys, and if you have any tricks you're struggling with or any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Have a nice day.